Have you ever felt like you didn't quite belong in your family? Or have you ever yearned for a connection to your biological roots? In this heartwarming story, two Indonesian adoptees, Anissa and Dewey, share their journey of discovering their common bond and biological relationship. From the initial WhatsApp message to their shared love for music and Indonesian culture, Anissa and Dewey's story is one of hope, perseverance, and the power of connection. Join us as we explore the story of Anissa and Dewey and learn about the challenges and triumphs of their journey to find each other. Anissa and Dewey share a special bond. They greet each other with a warm hug every time they meet. Their visits are never boring because they want to know everything about each other. They have been inseparable since that one Thursday night in December when something bizarre happened. Dewey was just about to go to bed when she received a WhatsApp message from Anissa. It was surprising because they weren't that close at the time. Anissa had just looked at the results of a DNA test she had done a month earlier and was completely flabbergasted. She had to share the news with someone, and who better than Dewey? Anissa couldn't contain her excitement and asked if she could call Dewey right away. When Dewey answered the call, Anissa said something that left her speechless. "I think you're my half-sister," Anissa said. Dewey couldn't believe what she was hearing. For years, she'd been searching for her biological family in vain. And now she had a half-sister who lived in the Netherlands, someone she had known for years. Anissa and Dewey couldn't believe their luck. Although they didn't know each other that well, they had always felt a connection. They were both musical. Anissa was a violinist, and Dewey was a singer-songwriter. They had always found each other interesting and had bonded over their love for music. As they talked on the phone, they couldn't help but think about their late best friend, Supri. It was a shame that he wasn't there to experience this incredible moment with them. Anissa and Dewey felt like they had found a missing piece of their puzzle, and they were excited to explore their newfound relationship. The two Indonesian adoptees discovered that they not only shared the same DNA, but also a common best friend, Supri. Although they met Supri at different times in their lives, he played an important role in their friendship. Dewey vividly remembers the moment she first saw a picture of Anissa at Supri's house. She was struck by the resemblance between them and exclaimed, "Hey, she looks like me." It was a special sensation for Dewey, who had never thought of herself as looking like anyone else before. Supri agreed that they could be sisters, but it took years before Dewey would meet Anissa in person. Their first meeting finally happened 4 years ago, during a gathering for Indonesian adoptees. Anissa performed with her violin, and Dewey approached her afterwards to chat. They hit it off immediately and have been seeing each other more often since then, bonding over their shared Indonesian heritage and experiences as adoptees. Sadly, Supri passed away from cancer in 2019, leaving Anissa and Dewey to mourn the loss of their dear friend. Despite being connected through their adoption and friendship with Supri, Anissa and Dewey didn't know much about each other's lives. Anissa was adopted as a 4-month-old baby and grew up in a warm and loving family. She was the only one with a tan in her household, but it never caused her any trouble. Like many children, she used to want to look like her peers with white skin and blonde hair. Dewey was 5 months old when she and her 2-year-old half-brother were adopted by Dutch parents. Although they had different upbringings, Anissa and Dewey have found common ground in their experiences as adoptees and their love for their Indonesian heritage. The Pasar Malam, a cultural market showcasing everything Indonesian, is one place where Anissa and Dewey love to hang out. It's a place where they feel a sense of belonging and where they can connect with their roots. Despite the challenges they may have faced as adoptees, Anissa and Dewey have found solace and friendship in each other, and their bond only grew stronger with each passing day. The stories of Anissa and Dewey are actually not unique. There are many adoptees around the world who have grown up feeling disconnected from their roots, yearning for a connection to their biological family. For Anissa, the journey to discover her origins began when she was just 14 years old. It was the death of her adoptive father that stirred up emotions that she had long buried. Suddenly, she was confronted with the reality that her adoptive parents were not invincible. What if her biological mother had also passed away? Anissa knew that she had to start searching for her roots, and so she turned to the popular TV show Spoorloos for help. Dewey's story is one of longing and disappointment. As a child, she never felt like she belonged in her adopted family. Her half-brother, who was also adopted, didn't even look like her. Dewey yearned for a connection to her biological family in Indonesia. She wondered who her mother was and why she had given her up. When she was 13 years old, she wrote a letter to her mother, but in the end, she didn't have the courage to send it. As she grew older, Dewey embarked on various quests to find her biological family, but each time she was met with disappointment. The adoption papers had been falsified, and the chance of finding her biological family was almost nil. Dewey felt abandoned, as though something that was rightfully hers had been taken away. Despite the challenges they faced, both Anissa and Dewey never gave up hope. They knew that their stories were part of a larger narrative, one that is shared by many adoptees around the world. The desire to know one's roots is a universal one, and it's a testament to the human need for connection and belonging. For Anissa, the search for her biological family was a long and winding road. Her adoptive mother supported her in her quest for many years until she passed away in 2013. It was a devastating loss, and Anissa felt as though she had been orphaned for a second time. But she never gave up hope. And finally, after years of searching, she found her biological family. For Anissa, it was a moment of joy and validation, a confirmation that her roots were not lost forever. Despite their earlier disappointments in searching for their biological families, they had not lost hope. Dewey had donated her DNA to a database in 2018, hoping to find a match and connect with her biological family. It wasn't until 3 years later, in November 2021, that she finally received a notification of a match. Curious and excited, she eagerly reached out to her newfound half-sister, Anissa. Anissa, who had also been hoping to find family through DNA testing, decided to take the same test after seeing Dewey's success. With her results in hand, she was thrilled to see that she had a direct family match, and that match was none other than Dewey. The two sisters immediately arranged to meet in person, although they were both a little nervous about what their first encounter would be like. As it turned out, they need not have worried. From the moment they met, they hit it off, chatting nonstop and feeling that deep connection that they'd been missing from their lives for so long. Although they didn't fall into each other's arms crying, they were both overjoyed to have found each other and finally know that they had a sibling in the world. The sisters documented their meeting and announcement of their newfound sisterhood with a vlog, which they shared on social media. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with friends and family members expressing their love and support for the sisters and their new bond. The heartwarming story of Dewey and Anissa, two half-sisters who connected through DNA testing, is truly an inspiring tale of family bonds that transcend distance and time. As they continue to get to know each other, they're discovering more and more similarities that are cementing their connection. One of the most interesting things that they've discovered about each other is their shared love for film composers John Williams and Hans Zimmer. They also found that they both share a favorite book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, which is remarkable since Dewey is dyslexic and hardly reads at all. Their similarities don't stop there. They're both passionate about Christmas and have already started their celebrations early, with Dewey decorating her house in October and Anissa watching Christmas movies extensively. They even have the same answer when someone asks if they can cook well in Indonesian. "I can eat it well," a funny coincidence that has become a running joke between them. Perhaps the most touching similarity they share is their health struggles. Both wear glasses and suffer from severe eczema. They also have a tendency to be easily distracted, which they find amusing and endearing about each other. Their connection was further solidified when Anissa invited Dewey to her home for Christmas dinner. It was a wonderful day filled with laughter, deep conversations, and thoughtful gifts. Dewey was touched by Anissa's hospitality, and Anissa was happy to have a new family member at the table for Christmas. Their relationship is still new, but both sisters are very excited about the possibilities of finding even more biological relatives in Europe and traveling to Indonesia together in the future. For now, they're focusing on building their relationship with each other, cherishing their similarities and differences that make them unique, yet connected. Dewey and Anissa's story is an inspiration to anyone who's ever felt a sense of longing for their biological family. They both faced disappointments and setbacks, but they never gave up hope. Their story shows that even after many years of searching, it's possible to find family through DNA testing. They have shown that it's never too late to begin your search and that you should never give up hope of finding your biological family. The story is a reminder that the search for one's roots is a deeply personal and emotional journey. It is a journey that requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to confront difficult emotions. But it is also a journey that can lead to a sense of closure and connection, and ultimately to a deeper understanding of oneself. For adoptees around the world, the search for their roots is an ongoing process, one that is rooted in the fundamental human need for connection and belonging. Their experience reminds us that we're all connected, and it's important to embrace and celebrate our differences while cherishing our common bonds. With their story, they have shown that it's possible to find family even in the most unlikely of ways, and that family is not just about blood, but also about love, connection, and shared experiences. Thank you for watching the heartwarming story of Anissa and Dewey. Their journey to find each other and connect over their shared experiences as adoptees is truly inspiring. We hope their story has touched your heart and shown you the power of human connection. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories like this one. We'll continue to bring you stories of hope, resilience, and human kindness that will uplift your spirits and inspire you to make a difference in the world. Thank you for your support.